The airport was unusually crowded for a Tuesday afternoon. Flight 782 to Johannesburg was fully booked, its waiting lounge buzzing with chatter, rolling suitcases, and the weary sighs of long-distance travelers. Somewhere among the noise, a slim girl in an oversized gray hoodie sat quietly in a corner chair, headphones on, phone in hand. Nobody gave her more than a passing glance, and that was exactly how she liked it. Her name was Amara Kingsley. To most of the world, that name meant power, wealth, empire. To her, it meant expectations, bodyguards, formal dinners, and people pretending to like her. She hated all of it. So when she traveled, she dressed like any other teenager, sneakers, hoodie, no makeup, messy bun. She booked first class because her father insisted, for safety, he claimed, but refused to take the private jet. She'd rather be just another face in the crowd. The boarding announcement crackled through the speakers, and passengers began gathering in lines. Amara waited patiently until the first-class lane cleared, then walked forward with her backpack slung over one shoulder. No designer luggage, no assistant, just her. She scanned her ticket, seat 2A, window side, right behind the cockpit. Perfect, but when she reached the row, she stopped. A woman, mid-30s, blonde hair in a tight bun, diamond earrings, tailored white blazer, was already sitting in 2A, sipping sparkling water like she owned the aircraft. She looked like she put the V in VIP. Amara hesitated. Maybe she misread. She checked her ticket again. 2A. Excuse me, Amara said politely, lowering her headphones. I think that's my seat. The woman didn't even look up. No, she said casually, still scrolling through her phone. This is mine. You must be mistaken. Amara blinked. I'm pretty sure it's my seat. Now the woman looked, slowly, like acknowledging Amara's existence was an inconvenience. Her eyes narrowed. Oh, she said, with a smirk. Honey, this is first class. Your section is that way. She waved vaguely toward economy without taking her eyes off Amara, as if flicking away a fly. A couple across the aisle paused mid-conversation to listen. A college student behind them removed his earbuds. A businessman raised his brows, intrigued. I am in first class, Amara said, her patience thinning. The woman laughed, actually laughed. Sweetheart, she said in a mocking tone, this seat costs more than your entire outfit. I'm not moving because you think you belong here. Heat crept into Amara's cheeks, not from embarrassment, but anger. She wasn't used to explaining herself. She wasn't used to being dismissed. But she kept her cool. I'm not asking you to move somewhere unreasonable, she said calmly. Just to your assigned seat. The woman's smile turned brittle. I am in my assigned seat. Stop making a scene. A flight attendant, sensing the tension, hurried over. Is everything all right? She asked. The woman didn't miss a beat. She pointed at Amara. Yes, this child is trying to sneak into first class. Can you escort her to economy? The attendant glanced at Amara's ticket, and her eyes widened. The flight attendant's posture shifted the moment she read the name on the ticket. Her expression, previously neutral, transformed into alert professionalism. She straightened instantly. Miss Kingsley, she said carefully. The woman in Amara's seat scoffed. Kingsley, what? Like she's royalty now. The attendant ignored her. She turned fully toward Amara. Miss Kingsley, she said with newfound deference, I sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. Please allow me to resolve this immediately. The entire cabin went quiet. The businessman across the aisle narrowed his eyes, recognition dawning. He mouthed to his wife, is that Kingsley? The college student behind them slid off his headphones completely now, watching the scene with open fascination. Meanwhile, the woman in 2A looked confused, and mildly irritated. Wait, she said slowly, eyes darting between them. What's happening? The flight attendant's voice was firmer now. Ma'am, this seat belongs to Miss Kingsley. I must ask you to move to your assigned seat. The woman let out an incredulous laugh. Are you serious? You're going to listen to her? She's clearly lying. The attendant held up the boarding list. Her name is here, ma'am. Verified. Please gather your belongings. The woman's confidence faltered. Kingsley, as in Raymond Kingsley, the billionaire tech guy. Amara said nothing. She didn't even blink. Silence. Then, unbelievably, the woman scoffed again. Well, I'm already sitting, she said sharply. Why don't you upgrade her? Or seat her in the cockpit for all I care. I'm not moving. A ripple of disbelief spread through the passengers. The flight attendant's jaw clenched. Ma'am, refusal to comply with seating assignments is a violation of aviation protocol. If you do not move immediately, I will have to escalate. Escalate, the woman snapped. You wouldn't dare. The attendant didn't answer. Instead, she tapped her comm device and spoke quietly into it. A few seconds later, the plane's engines began powering down. Passengers exchanged confused looks. Then the captain's voice came through the speakers, calm but commanding. Ladies and gentlemen, we are temporarily delaying departure due to a non-compliant passenger. Ground security has been contacted. Please remain seated. The gasp from the cabin was collective. Amara stood silently the whole time, arms crossed, face unreadable. She didn't shout. She didn't argue. She didn't need to. The woman paled. Security, she whispered. Are you joking? This is ridiculous. I'll sue. 2 airport security officers appeared at the cabin entrance. The attendant pointed wordlessly. That's her. Passengers craned their necks as the officers approached, professional but stern. The woman began sputtering excuses. I paid for this seat. I didn't do anything wrong. This is discrimination. She's just a... Ma'am, one officer interrupted firmly. You are being removed from this aircraft for failure to comply with crew instructions. Please collect your belongings. Nobody spoke. Nobody defended her. Everyone watched. Her cheeks burned brighter than the red exit signs. She stood shakily, snatching her designer handbag as officers escorted her down the aisle. Someone clapped. Then another. Then the entire first-class section erupted in applause. The woman vanished through the cabin doors, and peace returned like a sudden sunrise. The engines hummed back to life. The captain spoke again. Thank you for your patience. We'll resume takeoff shortly. Amara finally sat down, in 2A, without a word. She put her headphones back on, and the rest of the cabin sat a little straighter, a little quieter, a little wiser. As the cabin settled and whispers finally died down, a subtle shift in atmosphere took place. It wasn't fear or tension anymore, it was respect. The businessman across the aisle leaned forward slightly. Miss Kingsley, he said warmly, extending a hand across the armrest, that was handled with remarkable restraint. Most people would have caused a storm. Amara slid one headphone off and gave a small, polite smile as she shook his hand. Didn't really do anything, just wanted my seat. His wife chuckled lightly. Well, you reminded everyone that dignity doesn't come with a price tag. A small voice emerged from 2 rows back. Are you, a princess or something? Amara turned to see a little girl with curly pigtails peering through the seat gap, wide-eyed. Her mother looked mortified. I'm so sorry, the mother began. It's okay, Amara said with a grin. I'm not a princess. The little girl tilted her head innocently. Then why is everyone scared of you? Amara laughed gently. They're not scared of me. They're scared of acting ugly in front of the wrong person. That answer seemed to fascinate the child. Moments later, the flight attendant returned, now visibly relieved that chaos had passed. She knelt beside Amara's seat. Miss Kingsley, she said respectfully, on behalf of the cabin crew, we'd like to apologize again for the disturbance. Please let us know if you need anything at all. Amara considered. She could ask for champagne, or chocolate mousse, or an in-flight movie package for everyone. She could flex her power, but she didn't come here to make a spectacle. Yes, she said, then paused. Can we just take off? The attendant blinked, then laughed at herself. Absolutely. She hurried back to her station. Within minutes, the plane was taxiing toward the runway. Seatbelts clicked, window shades lifted, the engines roared with renewed purpose. Then, just before liftoff, the captain made one final announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. And a reminder for all passengers, respect isn't assigned by seat number, it's carried in your character. The applause this time was softer, but more heartfelt. As the plane lifted into the sky, Amara finally leaned back, fully relaxed. She put both headphones on and closed her eyes, music flooding her ears. But beneath it, she could still feel admiration radiating around her. No one saw her as just a rich girl anymore. They saw someone who didn't need to shout to be heard. Didn't need to boast to be powerful. Didn't need to humiliate to win. Hours into the flight, the little girl returned, escorted by her shy mother, clutching a napkin and a pen. Miss not princess. She whispered. Can I have your autograph? Amara grinned wide. Only if I get yours too. The girl giggled proudly and signed hers first, a messy swirl of crayon lines. The businessman across the aisle watched the moment unfold with a smile, shaking his head. Some people chase legacy, He murmured to his wife. Others just become it. And somewhere high above the clouds, Amara Kingsley smiled, not because she was known, but because, without ever raising her voice, she had taught an entire plane a lesson worth remembering.